Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. So onward with my distracted driving campaign. I want to say something about distracted driving. What is the worst driver there can be on the road? Might think somebody who's drunk driving, somebody who's texting while driving. You might say somebody who's eating while driving. You might say somebody who's daydreaming while driving. I'd say those are the consequences of something else. I'd say the most dangerous driver on the road is an individual who has nothing to lose. They don't care about their existence anymore. They don't have any ambitions in life. I teach at a community college. I see this day in and day out, right? I see people who are existing instead of living all the time. I had a student who, halfway through the semester, it sounds like she got a boyfriend, and I can tell that her attitude shifted quite a bit. All of a sudden, she's living instead of existing. At the beginning of the semester, existence, living. And I can only imagine, I've never seen her drive. I don't know if she actually drives, but I can imagine if she did, the change would be tremendous, right? I would be much more comfortable sitting in her car today than I would be at the beginning of the semester, right? I've never seen her driven, but just given her attitude. And sometimes attitude makes or breaks something. I had another student who I was doing some tutoring many years ago, years before COVID actually. And this kid was, when I first saw him, the first thing I noticed was that he was a little bit overweight, right? And I could only imagine his habits, right? I was meeting him his mom would drive him to the King County Library in Bellevue, Washington. A very beautiful library, by the way. If you want, you can Google it. The only disappointment I have about the library is that they had some artwork of famous scientists and artists, and among other people. And believe it or not, they had Mary Curie, but they mistakenly attributed her to discovering radon, not radium. They had the wrong element on there. And go look that up, if you will. So we were meeting there, and one day his mom explained that they're having car difficulties, couldn't go to the library, asked if I could meet them at their home. And I'm like, uh-oh. And the reason I went uh-oh is I have allergies to, food is usually easy to contain, right? I ask them, please don't eat when I'm around. But also plug in air fresheners. And I tend to, in my mind, I know it's a stereotype. Forgive me if this is a stereotype. In my mind, I associate people who eat fast food all the time with other unhealthy habits, like using air fresheners, right? Yes, I know it's a generalization, but to keep myself safe, sometimes I make those generalizations. I might run into trouble going into this individual's home, right? And so I kind of brace myself when I go in there. I might have to apologize. This is not going to work because of that. I kind of braced myself. I kind of prepared for that discussion. I went in there, and I was a little bit surprised when I didn't run into trouble. And I sat down, and I actually noticed I happened to walk past their kitchen, and I noticed, hey, they have pretty healthy food. I would have never imagined that. And then something hit me. The kid that I'm tutoring, he's very impatient. If I have to give him directions on one time I was telling him to install a C++ compiler on his computer, and I had to make sure to tell him not to do anything until I told him, because I knew there was a tricky part of the installation. Every time I install GCC, I accidentally install the 32-bit version when I need the 64-bit version, and I had a feeling he was going to click the wrong button. And before I could stop him, he clicked the wrong button. And I thought to myself, that's why he's overweight. He jumps to, oh my God, I need to eat. And he doesn't think before he eats. So I know sometimes attitudes make or break situations. And so when the most terrifying thing I can see is not necessarily somebody who makes it a habit to text, or even an alcoholic or anybody like that. No. I'm more afraid of somebody who has nothing to lose. And unfortunately, here in the Phoenix area, we have a lot of individuals just like that, especially the younger generation. Gen Z really scares me with their outlooks in life. A lot of these people are existing instead of living, right? And anyways, earlier today, I ran into a situation on the road, and I even though I run into drama every time I point out somebody is distracted while driving, I still do it because I like to think I'm taking one for the team, right? So I was walking down Baseline Street, and I saw somebody stopped at a red light, and this girl, she wasn't even just texting at the red light. She was just jamming away. Her boyfriend or somebody was sitting next to her, and she was dancing and texting something. I know it's at a red light, but driving on the road is all about situational awareness. And so I waved at them, and I said, gee, I think we should maybe focus while we're driving. And then she cussed at me and said, I didn't even listen to that. And I said, well, I pray for your safety then. Thank you. And I so badly wanted to give him a Peter dislike, but, given that I had said I pray for you guys, I gave him a Peter like instead. And she continued to cuss, but I'm taking one for the team. And the reason I do that is because in the past, other people have pointed out to me things that I shouldn't be doing, that I should have known better about. I used to drink a lot of soda. Now I drink a lot of tea, unfortunately, a little bit too much sometimes. And at the time, I cussed at them. People prayed for me as well. And nowadays, I don't do it anymore. And yes, I'll probably never get credit for saving this person's life, right? I guarantee, out of all the times that I've pointed out to somebody they were eating while driving, texting while driving, I guarantee I have already saved somebody from at least an expensive car repair bill. Maybe not from injury, but out of all the times, I've probably already saved somebody a $5,000 repair bill. I'll probably never get the credit for it because these people are defensive at the moment that I'm saying it. But at the same time, I indirectly enjoy the benefits of it, right? The roads are safer. And last time I checked, cars gobble up a lot of resources, right? A lot of those computerized cars probably use a lot of bismuth that I'd much rather be using to make art, right? So I'm taking one for the team. And unfortunately, we don't have a team attitude here in the United States. So for example, I talked about last month I went to see a solar eclipse. Unfortunately, it was a very lonely experience because most of my colleagues and my students would rather go see an Eras concert. And, Swifties are known for taking care of one another. What they forget is that not everybody is a Swiftie, right? And we really should all take care of one another and make everybody's dream come true, right? Not just people who want to go to an Eras concert, right? There's all sorts of heartwarming stories about people helping each other out after they get a flat tire on their way to an Eras concert. I think somebody, I'll let you Google it, but one fellow Swiftie, and I'm a Swiftie myself, I cannot tolerate loud noises, which is why I went to a solar eclipse. I'd much rather listen to Taylor Swift in an environment where I can control the volume, right? And I was, there's a story on YouTube that a fellow Swiftie was on her way to the concert when she dropped her phone and it fell down a drain, and an officer or a construction worker helped them retrieve the phone. I'm surprised the phone even survived after that, and they made it to the concert, right? Well, where is the teamwork when it comes to things? See, I'd much rather see a fellow Swiftie help somebody else who was on their way to a Carrie Underwood concert, right? Or vice versa, right? Or it doesn't even have to be concerts, right? A fellow flat earther helping somebody go see a lunar eclipse, or vice versa, right? A lunar eclipse person helping a flat earther get to the important conference about flat earths, right? I really do want to see that, right? Us unified together in some way, right? Or I want to see more people take one for the team about talking about the not being distracted while driving and praying for them, right? And I like to, I just like to see that more, right? And like I said, you're welcome. I saved you from a $5,000 car repair bill. I'll never know who you are. You won't know who you are. because you're so defensive about it, but I feel good about it, and that's what counts, right? This is the Peter Dislike Show! Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show! Bum 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 bum.